Hello, my name is Shlomo Gordon, and I am running as a candidate for the Zehut Party's Knesset list. Lately, people have been starting to understand that Israeli bureaucracy isn't a heavenly decree. Different laws have been passed forcing government offices to receive emails instead of faxes, less hurdles for Olim to receive an Israeli driver's license, and more. I give credit where credit is due, and I very much appreciate the few Knesset members who are doing their jobs, as well as people working outside the parliament, such as Keep Olim. But the major changes that need to be done will require a new party that is not attached to the current establishment, with a clear platform and a sincere intention to apply it. Economic liberty is perhaps one of the most important steps in creating a free society. Before, during, and after the world wars, many of our families escaped Europe to the West. The situation of financial and political pressures forced our families to the West, and through the economic freedom of those host countries, the past few generations were able to prosper enough that we could today allow ourselves to end the exile and come, out of ideology and faith, not survival, to the only place that a Jew can truly call home. We came, however, to a country that is only beginning to taste what liberty is. Foreign and special interests run the country. Constant terror keeps people in a bunker state. Welfare keeps people dependent on the government. And the government-funded rabbanut and yeshivas keep people thinking that this is what God intended. And more are leaving, primarily because of the cost of living and housing. Some things never change, and the Jews faced a much worse crisis the last time they returned to Zion. I recommend reading Nehemiah chapter 5. There was a famine and people were selling their children into slavery in order to pay a land tax to Artaxshasta. And some Jews took advantage of their brothers by charging them interest in their time of crisis. Today we don't live under a foreign king, but we do it to ourselves with high taxes and big government and the land administration holding on to over 90% of the land, artificially creating a lack in supply and high prices. We should learn from our ancestors that free people must demand their land. I'm not from the UN and I don't claim to be objective. National freedom is just as important to me, and it does not contradict universal freedoms of minorities that live among us. There is plenty of land to build. There are even ghost towns in Judea and Samaria, large and good villages that you didn't build. The only reason no one buys up these houses is that the Israeli government prefers to maintain the so-called status quo, if it can be called such, in a country under constant attack in every imaginable way. Zehut's one-state solution will put an end to this and free up large swaths of land to be given to veteran Israelis and new Olim alike, to build homes and finally pop the Israeli real estate bubble. I made Aliyah alone and served as a lone soldier in the Armored Corps. I want to see this happen because I want my family to make Aliyah. As I told you, I'm not objective. I'm in this like any other politician, for my own personal interest. I joined Zehut because I don't see any other way that I will be able to buy a house in Israel. And I'm not talking about the paycheck as a Knesset member, of which, by the way, I intend to donate 20% every month to raise awareness for different causes. I don't see any other way that I will be able to educate my future children the way I see fit, and not according to some government bureaucrats and the teachers union. I'm in this for my own personal liberty, but the beauty of freedom is that it grows and develops into free families, communities, and nations. If these ideas resonate with you, let me represent you in the parliament. I'm young, but the way that I see it, that just means more time for me in the Knesset. I have a clean slate, moral and logical clarity. I don't owe anything to anyone. I'm a nobody, but if you want, with God's help, you can raise me up and I will be indebted to you and no one else on earth. Isn't it time to be a free people in our land?